Hi, I'm Mike McCardle. This is my CE300 career presentation, take 2. Research and exploring the following. Tried to find a matching job code for my current position as the facility supervisor at Mayo Clinic Health System, Franciscan Healthcare in La Crosse. Tried to find work tasks and activities, the education expectations and appropriate college courses, the physical demands, working conditions, required knowledge, hiring practices, wage expectations, employment outlook, and current postings. The closest match I felt was a first-line manager. First-line managers are a necessary link between the blue-collar worker and upper management. They tend to deal with the day-to-day duties. The various work tasks: lead and direct workers, estimate the cost of materials needed to complete projects, calculate labor and equipment needs, prepare budgets, apply measures to motivate employees and improve work methods, resolve worker problems or assist in solving problems, communicate both to upper management and subordinates, manage individual workloads, and assess current work for value add or not, customer service advocate, and then ensure compliance with various codes. The education requirements for a first-line manager: a bachelor's degree would be preferred. It tends to give you more options, open more doors, but it's not always necessary. You can tailor your classes to your needs. A lot of times your industry or your company will dictate your path of education. Physical demands: frequently standing and observing, or sitting and doing paperwork. Can be walking around inspecting job sites. It's helpful to be seen out in the field by your subordinates so you can be considered one of them. Working conditions. Interpersonal relationships, very important. You have a high level of contact with employees through daily communication, whether that's email, face-to-face, or memos. Physical condition: typically indoor in a climate-controlled environment, may be exposed to temperature extremes, high noise levels, and from time to time you may be in very close proximity to others. You got to just figure out a way to make that work or deal with it or get over it, to be quite honest with you. Work performance: the work of others and your subordinates and yourself is your responsibility. You'll be held accountable for those. Your work schedule: typically 40 plus hours a week, and you may have to cover on-call, support, off shifts, weekends, or call-ins. Required knowledge will be industry or company specific. For me, we are a hospital. My department is responsible for the day-to-day operations, keeping it operational. So I got to have some knowledge of mechanical systems, which means plumbing, electrical, HVAC, or control systems. Customer and personal service, safety and security, personnel and human resources. Never thought I would be so knowledgeable or well versed in human resources. And healthcare facilities in general are very held to a strict regard when it comes to codes. So we've got to be very code compliant and familiar with those codes. Hiring practices and wage expectations. Typically prefer education beyond high school. Direct work experience is typically given preference as well. Median wage, $28.97 an hour. Employment outlook and current opportunities. You can expect a 10 to 19% increase over the next 7 years. And there was currently 139 listings in Minnesota and 118 in Wisconsin. The 2 other jobs I looked at within the same cluster were a purchasing manager and a logistics manager. Purchasing manager plans, directs, coordinates all within the purchasing department, negotiates contracts, formulates policies with suppliers, formulates purchase requisitions and purchase orders, or POs. Specific software knowledge, there were several listed, and it said on-the-job experience to become well-versed in all those various software programs. The ability to influence ideas and express yourself very clearly. Typical work conditions would be within an office working at a computer. The median hourly rate is $48.16. A bachelor's degree is almost a must, and a master's degree is preferred. Rather slow growth here. Over the next 7 years, only expecting a 3 to 9% increase. There are currently 74 postings in Wisconsin and 58 in Minnesota. The logistics manager resolves problems within the transportation and logistics systems, maintain metrics and reports regarding inbound and outbound freight, evaluate shipping methods, be familiar with job-specific software similar to a purchasing manager, knowledge of transportation, production, and processing, as well as DOT regulations. Typical work conditions would be within an office, working at a computer. The median hourly rate is currently $39.34. Considerable work experience and a bachelor's degree are preferred. Decent growth here, between 10 and 19% over the next 7 years. And there's currently only 2 postings in Wisconsin and 1 in Minnesota. The couple of careers I looked at outside of my immediate cluster were that of a security manager and a loss prevention manager. Security managers create and implement security standards, policies, and procedures, follow emergency response procedures, assess risk, communicate security status updates. 60% of those polled hold a bachelor's degree and 20% a master's degree. Majority of your time is spent in an office, but you must spend time out in the field to find out really what's going on day to day. Median hourly wage is $48.51. Relatively slow job growth expected over the next 7 years of 3 to 9%. Currently 199 postings in Wisconsin and 223 in Minnesota. Loss prevention manager is responsible for inventory control, investigating or interviewing individuals suspected of shoplifting, ensure compliance of company policies and procedures, detailed documentation of incidents, sit and monitor security cameras during the day. When you're out on the sales floor, you need to blend in and act as an ordinary customer. A bachelor's degree would be helpful, but not necessary. The wages seemed quite high to me, with a median hourly range of $48.51. I'm assuming they were just lumping it in with the security manager. I can't imagine they would be that high. In conclusion, or my findings, and not just with this project, but in general, would be finish school while you have the opportunity and get your degree. It will open several more doors for you. Thank you. Thank you guys, sorry.